All right, what to do when you hit a stuttering block. I've created a video like this in the past, and it was one of my best videos I created. It's still like, every month it's one of the ones that gets the most views. And that made me think that I should create it again years later with some updates, since I always learn and I always grow. And since that moment I've created that first video, I've learned better ways to explain it, and I've also just learned new things after constantly helping people who stutter. So before I even start, if you don't know who I am, my name's Gillis, and this button definitely should be up. I help people overcome stuttering. It's tight. I help people overcome stuttering, get out of their head, speak effortlessly, no longer have this fear, doubt, and anxiety in their speaking process, so wherever they go, they're free. They are not in their head. And a very common thing, what happens when people get locked in their head and they enter a stuttering state, is they hit a lot of blocks. They hit a lot of blocks where a lot of tension gets stored in their body. A lot of anxiety, a lot of heat, a lot of exhaustion, a lot of force is needed to speak, to express. And I have not had a block. Like I have times where I stutter. I have times where I pause for like a second, but I have not had a block like I used to, like that, for years. And I'm gonna tell you why and how I've learned to overcome that. So here's something you need to know. Oh, before I even get into that, something very, very helpful you should know of. Right now, I'm hosting a 6-week intensive helping people overcome stuttering through my 6-week plan. The same way I have overcome stuttering, in the same way I've helped 72 people over the last 3 years overcome stuttering as well, by addressing the real root issues. So if you are someone who you've seen my content, and you're like, Chase is the guy to help me, DM me the word stutter on Instagram. My Instagram is honestly Chase. There will be a link down below for it. DM me the word stutter, or comment the word stutter down below in the description, and I'll get you all the details for the 6-week intensive to overcome your stuttering. So the reason why I don't have these blocks is because the way I have worked through them. And what you need to know is blocking is not random. Blocking is a sign of there's a lot of fucking tension in your body. There's a lot of tension in your body for whatever reason. It could be the fear of being judged. You're tensed up, fear of being rejected. It could be just that you're really fucking tired. It can be that you're malnourished. You had McDonald's and now you're sluggish, and now there's a lot more tension in your body. It could be that you haven't exercised in a few days and there's a lot of tension in your body. For whatever reason, you have a lot of tension in your body. What to do now when you feel you're going to block? My favorite thing, is what I tell all my clients to do, I'm giving it to you right now, is to turn it into a game. You enter a new mindset where it's a game to speak. Each word is like a game. You are not blocking, you are finding blocks. That is the game, okay? The speaking process, when you're in the stuttering state where you're hitting a lot of blocks, is you are the You are the player in the game, and whoever you're speaking to, the conversation you're in is the journey inside of the game. And there's times inside of the game, like if we're actually talking about like a video game, there's times where you hit people where you have to fight. There's bosses that you have to kill. There's some words you're speaking in your game where you feel a sense of fight or flight, where you feel like, oh, this word, I'm gonna block so big on it. That's the boss. Your game is not to fight them. Your game you're playing in your mind is to become aware that they're there. And the game is to, how can you speak this word you know you're gonna block on with ease and non-resistance? That's the game you're playing. You're not being unconscious and speaking fast and just pushing through blocks like that. You're slowing the fuck down, and your game is, okay, here we go. We're speaking right now, and I'm becoming very aware. So that wasn't actually a stutter, but that was, okay. So what I did there was, when I was speaking, I was like, okay, I'm gonna find these blocks. I'm not trying to make them come true, but I'm just speaking and I'm becoming aware of if a block does come. And it does come, my game now has fucking started. It started, and my job is to make this word as enjoyable to speak, as effortless to speak, as non-resistance to speak. So I'm not pushing through this word. I just spat everywhere. I'm not pushing through this word. I'm softening through this word. I'm enjoying myself through this word. And you enter a state when you're feeling this, is how can I make this word as enjoyable to say as possible, as non-effort as possible, non-pushing as possible. When you're feeling that, you just slow down. You become a lot more present. You're in the moment. You feel the tension in your body. You're working with that tension in your body. And even though you're in a stuttering state, you leave the interaction, the conversation, feeling fucking like you won. You won the game. Even though you stuttered, you didn't push through them. The game isn't to avoid the stutters. The game is to make it as enjoyable as possible to stutter, because you can't avoid this. You can't avoid the stutters. Just like if you're playing a video, game. See what I did there? That was fucking enjoyable to do. I actually got joy to pause and to say it again. Like actual, I feel great. But if you're playing a game, inevitably there's gonna be fucking people you have to fight. Just like speaking, inevitably you're gonna have stutters no matter where you are. Over time, very, very quickly, if you do the right actions, you will have less and less and less of them. But they're going to come. So when they come, the game isn't to avoid them. It's to make them as non-resistant as possible, to make it as enjoyable to speak as possible, so you can leave that game, that conversation, feeling great because you beat that game. And what happens then is your relationship with stuttering changes. It's no longer something where you need to avoid because there's so much pain and pushing and forcing and exhaustion that comes when you stutter. No, there's none of that shit anymore. Because you feel great because you won the game. You still stuttered, but you feel great. And also, stuttering, there's no force to it. There's no extra effort. And actually, When I stutter and I win that game, and I found that stutter, I found that block, and I didn't push through it, I feel great. I really do feel great. So why am I trying to avoid this stutter? I'm not. If it comes, boom, player one has entered the game. And this mindset and this way of thinking about your blocks changes everything. It makes your stutter become your friend. Your stutter can allow you to feel so fucking great because you're constantly entering these games that you're winning, as long as you're not pushing through them. And you'll see the bigger opponents you face, which is AKA the people that you value more, the people you deem as conversations with are more meaningful, those are the bosses. There's you feel more tension to push through. But to be able to create a safe place, a safe emotional place inside of you to not push through and to be yourself is the game. And that's what I help my clients with. All right, the game is just a mindset, but to be able to create this safe place where you feel emotionally safe to take your time, to be yourself, to allow your true personality to come out, and just everything you need to know about overcoming stuttering. What I've learned, this is what I help my clients through. And right now we're doing it through a 6-week intensive where for 6 weeks, we're working together extremely closely, and we're allowing you to overcome stuttering. We're giving you every single step. I say I'm giving you every single step you need to take to overcome stuttering, to make speaking fucking fun, to feel confident, to feel the sense of belonging inside group conversations, and just to flow. All right. And if you want to take on this challenge and do this 6-week intensive, it starts on February 19th, but I only have 15 spots available inside of the program. So if you want to claim one of these spots, DM me the word stutter on Instagram, DM me the word stutter, or comment the word stutter down below if you don't have Instagram, and we'll find a different way to communicate. All right? I love you. I hope this video was extremely helpful, and I'll talk to you soon.